1. Hello, my name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Salma Suleman. She's an emotional resilience and empowerment coach at SS Resilience Coaching. She helps individuals to learn how to be the experts of their bodies and minds and develop unshakable resilience and become empowered to be the best versions of themselves. I cannot wait for you guys to hear this conversation. Thank you so much, Salma.
Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Everybody has a story. What was life like before you got into coaching, and what was the other events or the catalyst that brought you into the field?
Okay, so life without coaching was full of depression and anxiety. I wasn't self-employed. I went through a lot of mental health challenges because of various things like, people pleasing, validation seeking, and some things that happened in childhood that just sort of culminated to mean that I found myself in a place where I really wasn't happy with who I was. So I made some major changes after my mental health got pretty much as bad as it gets. And after making those changes, I found coaching and slowly started to build myself up. So I literally listened to coaching podcasts all the time, and then I got really into it, and I'm quite psychologically minded. So I did a lot of techniques on myself. I went to counseling where I could. I went on antidepressants, and I managed to basically just change my life around completely. And I found that coaching really worked well for me. And the sort of final step to really taking that plunge and going all in was leaving employment for other people and becoming self-employed, which I never even thought was something that I would do this early on in my life. It wasn't something I thought possible. And I found that working for other people became harder and harder because they have different values. There are different people to work with, and it just didn't fit in with where I wanted to be in life. So I decided to listen to my body, find out a lot more about my body and my mind, and started living my life based on my menstrual cycle. And that meant that I was making decisions that I usually wouldn't have made before. So decisions based on my energy levels and my moods and things like that. And you can't do that when you're working in an organization and they expect you to be, the person who delivers every day, and you've got a job to do. And I found this very challenging. So I left the employment and I just completely focused on self-employment and working for myself. And now I work based on my menstrual cycle, and I teach others how to become the experts of their body and mind so that they can live happier, more confident lives. And as a result of that, I'm off antidepressants now, which is amazing. I'm so confident. I've got wonderful clients. And yeah, life is heading in just a direction I never thought possible, just even a year ago. That's where I'm at.
Let me ask you this. So how can you start to really understand your energy levels? Is it like a cycle that you just start recording, or how do you start understanding?
So about a year and a half ago, I started tracking my menstrual cycle. And that wasn't really for any particular purpose. I didn't realize how important it was going to be until almost like 9 months later, when I started learning about the impact of the female menstrual cycle on our productivity and things like that. So when I was noticing that the same things were happening every month, so my energy levels were dipping at a particular time before my period, and my mood was getting lower, that was when I'd be more weepy and things like that. And then they would go really high, and I'd be a lot more sociable after my period and in my sort of ovulatory phase. When I started noticing these as consistent patterns in my monthly cycle, I realized that I can work with this. So in my business, I have coaching calls, like introductory coaching calls, when my energy levels are higher and when I can communicate better. And in the times when they're lower, that's when I tend to do the more book writing and keeping to myself a bit more. And, I've got my consistent clients, but my confidence levels are even just a bit lower. And that's because biologically speaking, my body is preparing me to be calmer and to rest in preparation for a potential, fertilized egg. So it's been amazing learning about the human body and learning about how it's affecting everything. And then speaking to my female friends who have also been going through similar things and have similar frustrations as well, and saying to them, well, have you thought about tracking your cycle? And so many of them, they're seeing these patterns, and it's been amazing.
That's crazy. So I've never actually heard of that before. It's kind of cool. So shit. So well, that's crazy. That's crazy that you're able to do that. Because the reason why I'm saying is because I'm thinking, so you schedule your month based on that. So what happens if someone wants to do a discovery call with you, but you're in a down period?
I set my calendar to times when I will be available for when I'll be the best version of myself. So I'm very um, I'm very clear with my boundaries with myself and the people that I speak to. It's my business, and I run it in a way that is going to be best for me. So I don't allow other people to run my business. So therefore, people, they book time when I know then when I'll be at my best, and they can see in my calendar that, okay, this is the time when I can book with her, and that's how it is. This sort of yeah, I'm very strict. I'm not sure it's the right word, but yeah, consistent with that.
So, so like is it like the first 2 weeks, then you have like a million spots open, and then like the last or the week of, you're just like, no.
Kind of, yeah. So it's actually it's more like there's about a week and a half when I don't do discovery calls because that's when
No,
my
that's
energy
not bad.
levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, in There are four phases. There's a follicular phase, that's one right after the period, the ovulatory phase, which is where you're more likely to get pregnant, the luteal phase, and then the menstrual phase. So the first part of the luteal phase, you're still quite high energy. So I still tend to do discovery calls then. But the latter half of the luteal phase and the menstrual phase, that's when I have my downtime. And it's because in that time I feel my mind is more foggy. I'm not as concentrated and stuff like that. So I'm really not the best version of myself. And that's not the person that I want to bring to a discovery call, because the client won't be getting the best version of myself with me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Mm.
You know, let me ask you. So then, next question is, so who do you generally help? Is it people who are stressed out, or who do you work with the most?
So I tend to work with people who they are they're functioning well, and they maybe just need some help with their confidence levels. So I have a couple of clients who are business owners, and they're doing well. They've been running the business for a while, and they're just dealing with things like imposter syndrome or confidence levels. And within that, there is a human in that in that business owner. So we work on things like their relationships and their self-image and how they portray themselves to others and their thoughts, especially. And in just changing their thoughts, they're able to just make the most amazing changes in their lives, which is so humbling. Um, and because we're all individuals, we all have our individual needs, and that is discovered at, with the discovery call, as you call it. Um, it's figuring out what's best for the person and where you want to go. But I'm not strict on, I don't tend to have a program that is like, this week we'll do this week we'll do this, because we are all different. So it's very much tailored to the individual, and it's a two-way thing. They bring as much as I bring, and that just creates just the most amazing results.
Nice. Just kind of switching gears. What is the vision for your life?
Oh, it's a deep question. Vision for my life. Um, right now, I have the life that I've dreamed of. So I've spent so much of my time um, wanting things to be so different. I'm wanting to have the independence or have this and this, thinking that that will make me happy. But I am so at a point where I'm happy with my business. I'm happy with myself. I don't feel like I need to be in a relationship. I've got a very cute cat and I've got my own space, and I'm able to live life on my own terms. And I honestly, I just want that to continue. I'm going to do things like I'm currently writing a book with no sort of end date as to when that's going to be released. But it's all within my power. And eventually, the more people I teach, the more my word, the sort of messaging that gets out there, it will grow in a different way. But my vision is to continue to have a peaceful life that I live in my own way.
Nice. What does the word success mean to you?
For me, success is when you're at a point where, it may sound morbid, but if life were to end today for you, would you be happy?
Heck yeah.
So for me, that's success. Success isn't having a huge house or a fancy car or anything like that. Success is, am I living my life in a way that I would be proud of if it ended today? And that is what success is to me.
Nice.
My answer is yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything new coming out? Like, do you like a conference, course, book?
At the moment, I've just started getting my 6 and 12-week program out there a little bit. I've got the book, which I mentioned earlier, but that hasn't got a time limit yet. I'm taking it nice and steadily. So I'm still actually only in the first year of my coaching business. So there's a lot to discover. A few months ago, I actually created an online course that is free. The link for that is in my LinkedIn, that anybody can do. So at some point I will expand on that. But right now I'm very much just enjoying the most amazing clients that I get. They teach me so much about myself and my life, and also being at a point when I've recently come off my antidepressants, that is me having to up level my life and my coaching and my self-coaching, and that's a whole new journey. So my umbrella priority is my mental health, and right now that's where it's at a nice level. So yeah,
Nice.
that answers your question.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So how can someone go to either connect with you further or learn more about you?
So LinkedIn is where I post most of my stuff. So twice a week, I'll post on LinkedIn at least. And that's where you can get a feel of the kind of values that I have, the kind of teachings that I do, and some responses from my clients and things like that. You can email me as well. I'm very good with emails, and just drop me a message. So if you drop me a message on LinkedIn or via email, so my email is ssresilience@salma.co.uk, and I'll send you a Calendly link and we can just talk. For me, I want I want to know the person, and I want the person to know me, and I feel the best way to do that is by talking and just having these conversations.
Can you spell out your name, since some people might not be seeing it on video stuff?
Yeah, so it's Salma, and Suleman is Suleman.
Nice. I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And, for those watching, we thoroughly hope that you got some great value out of this episode. Now, if you've been searching for a place where people are improving themselves and helping others do the same, I recommend you go check out our free community by clicking the link either above or below the video. Now, this is basically a mastermind where we come together and we uplift and support each other every single day. So if that is what you have been searching for, I recommend you go and check us out by clicking the links either above or below the video. I cannot wait to see you inside the community. Now, hopefully you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit that share button so other people can get some great value as well. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. We'll see you in the next one. We're done recording in 3 and 2 and 1.